Today on Fresno State Focus, we take a look at campus safety during COVID-19 and how our campus is being kept clean.
Also, we'll give you a few tips on how to study in those loud households.
Plus, we'll take a look at the Save the Tower movement. Fresno State Focus starts now. Happy St. Patrick's Day and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Tonya Gurila.
And I'm Trevor Widger.
Some students and staff are back on campus for in-person classes. Coming on campus looks different during COVID-19. Before coming on campus, we all need to fill out a daily screening questionnaire. If you've had no COVID-19 symptoms and have not come into contact with someone who tested positive, a green check mark will appear at the end of the survey. Then we show that to the person at the screening checkpoint. Daily screeners are on campus to check your temperature and hand you a sticker when you're good to go.
Once we get into our buildings, we're assured that they're clean. A small number of students, like us, are back on campus this spring, a privilege made possible by the hard work of the sanitation staff. To adapt to COVID, custodial workers have changed their entire approach to cleaning Fresno State. Rather than one sweep over the campus at night, workers are cleaning classrooms and bathrooms a couple of times during the day. Areas not in use are cleaned and locked down to help save supplies. EPA-approved wipes and sprays are being used, along with newer technology like electrostatic sanitation misters.
The system charges those particles and so that they're attracted to surfaces. So when you apply the disinfectant, it clings to surfaces rather than you having to actively go underneath and in between and around all the different things that you're trying to sanitize.
The misters are helping workers clean big areas much faster than with conventional supplies, while being just as effective.
COVID-19 testing may not always feel great, but it's become one of the safest and easiest ways to stop the spread of the virus to keep our campus healthy. Some people haven't gotten tested since the pandemic started, while others are getting tested every month or even every week. For Fresno State swimmer Caitlin O'Neill, a COVID test is just a normal part of her schedule now.
We test at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending if we're going to see other teams or we're going to be traveling, because we have to have that test 24 hours before getting on the plane.
Some people are terrified of the procedure, but Caitlin O'Neill says that's not as scary as it seems. She says the testing at Save March Center is easy and organized.
The testing experience is very easy. The people here make it so that you can come in really quick, sign in, everything's set up for you, and you get that test and you're out. It's very quick, it's efficient, and I think it's super important that we do it here.
Medical personnel say that testing helps us better understand COVID-19.
It's very important because it helps stop the spread and it also helps with the statistics as well.
Students who regularly get tested say that keeping up with their results helps them with their everyday life routine.
I like that we're able to come in here and get testing and be able to know whether or not we're positive or negative. It really helps me go through my daily life during this pandemic.
The testing takes 5 to 10 minutes. Everything is set up for fast and easy access. As you can see, all the protocols with social distancing and masks are strictly followed. All the medical personnel is very supportive and friendly, so you have nothing to worry about. Students and staff are continuously getting emails about the testing schedule, so keep an eye out for more information.
This pandemic has proven to be challenging for teachers who are teaching from home, but also caring for their own children. Gio Alvarado introduces us to a teacher who looks forward to teaching in person.
Staying home during the pandemic has proven to be both fun and challenging for Lidia Castaneda, a teacher and a mother of two.
It has been very difficult, challenging more for my youngest one because it's her first year going to school. So she wasn't familiar with any of the apps or any of the iPad stuff. But for my oldest one, it has been a little bit easier on her since she's familiar with everything the teacher's trying to work with.
When the school had to close its door, at first Castaneda found it hard to balance her own work and helping her daughters learn. The clock was her biggest enemy.
It is challenging, especially because I have to be on it. And if I forget, they do mark attendance for every login. So my daughter has to be logged in right on time.
But this isn't the only problem that she encountered. Her daily routines took a turn for the worse.
Staying up very late. We had nothing else to do. Summer hit, break hit, kids weren't in school. We were awake very long hours. We were waking up very late.
Not everything during lockdown was negative. Liga saw an improvement in communication with her daughters and her husband.
He gets home and he helps me, you know? Like he helps me either with the girls or picking up or even making dinner.
Casaneda thinks her church for giving her hope.
I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm keeping my sane.
Both of her daughters have no issues learning online. Getting fit is now her biggest goal. With the help of her sister, Casaneda hopes to lose every pound that was gained during lockdown. In Parlier, Gio Alvarado, Fresno State Focus.
Castaneda is anxiously awaiting the green light from her school to start in-person learning. With COVID numbers continuing to show improvement, Parlier Unified is expected to welcome back students by the end of March.
Other groceries we buy safe from COVID-19, Gibson Farm Market employees adjust their regular work routine to make sure the products are safe. The main priority for the farm market workers is to keep the virus out of the food chain. There are a couple of key ways they do that: cleaning and sanitizing, social distancing, and of course educating staff on the virus and regulations, which include consistent hand washing and mask wearing.
Customers are also required to wear a mask, and they sanitize before they come into the store. We also sanitize everything you see. So every time a customer touches it, we sanitize it, whether that be carts, baskets, everything. We also leave the doors open a little bit so that the air circulates.
Feel comfortable coming inside the store, the market has an option that allows employees to pack up and bring your order outside.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus,
We have some studying tips ahead to help you through midterms.
plus Brooke takes us to the construction site of the Student Union with updates about progress and patience.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
I'm Wyatt Babb with your focus on weather.
I'm here at the new.
I'm Wyatt Babb with your focus on weather. As you can see outside here at Fresno State, looks like we just got the clouds starting to move away. We're starting to see some of that clear skies come out once again, which is good because we've been dealing with rain for quite a good time. Now let's move on to our nationwide satellite. As you can see here, we have kind of a storm moving up towards the northeast, hitting areas like Chicago, St. Louis. We've also got some snow up in the Minnesota area. As we move on to the western satellite, you can see up in the Texas Panhandle, we still got some rain from that storm that they were dealing with. As we move over into the California side of things, not too much going on, but you do see a storm system out there in the Pacific Ocean, so expect some rain in the coming weeks. We move on to the regional satellite here in Fresno, not too much going on, but we do have some cloud cover up in Northern California. As we move on to today's highs, we have pretty much 60s across the board, mid 60s with the lone exception being Shaver Lake sitting at 48. Move on to today's lows, pretty much 45, 40s as well. The lone exception once again, Shaver Lake at 35. Our focus on air quality good across the board in Madera, Kern, and Merced counties, with moderate being San Joaquin, Stanislaus, Fresno, Kings, and Tulare. We look at our extended outlook here, and for the rest of the day, got mostly sunny. Throughout the week, we're going to have pretty much 60 degrees as the high. We also have on your first day of spring, we're going to be having pretty much sunny skies throughout the weekend. That was your focus on weather.
Fresno State's new student union is delayed by a year. The Resnick Student Union was supposed to open this upcoming fall, but is now pushed back to 2022. The building process was paused while waiting for plan approval from the state fire marshal. But as you can see, construction is now up and running again. The new student union will be just behind our speech arts building where the amphitheater used to be. Brooke Chow is at the construction site to find out more about this process.
I'm here at the new USU construction, and as you can see behind me, it definitely does not look like our new USU yet. I was supposed to be at the construction site today, but trucks are coming in and out all day, so I'm staying safe on the sidewalk with ASI President Elizabeth Rocha Zuniga. And today I just wanted to kind of ask you a little bit about the amenities that students can look forward to when it comes to the new USU.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great new hub for students where all the orgs and clubs on campus will be there. That way students can get more involved. It'll be a much more vibrant, thriving environment. So it's going to be great.
When it comes to money in action, where can students see where their money is going? And you kind of have a breakdown of what students are going to probably be a little bit more excited about paying for more than the others.
Yeah, so it's going to be great new operations for the new USU. We're going to have much more food options on campus, and also just the tuition will also increase. It was ordered on support by 67% of students, and so we'll be having to pay $298 per year, and so it's going to be split up into $149 per semester, and so students have supported that, and so I hope that we can get a great new, structure on campus that will help us succeed, and so we look forward to that.
What has been the response from students, faculty, and staff when it comes to the delay of the USU?
Yeah, so there has been a couple of questions, I assume, but I think the main focus now is that it's getting built, and we have the construction going on right now behind us, and so it's going to be great just seeing it finalized, and I think we all look forward to that.
In the meantime, right outside of the Speech Arts Building, where our production is broadcasted weekly, we get to hear the construction live in action every week. We're definitely excited for the new USU to come. Brooke Chow, Fresno State Focus.
Some students deal with loud living situations, making it nearly impossible for them to study. Tasha Turner shows us the reality some students deal with, and one student offers tips for dealing with the noise.
When COVID hit, many students moved back in with their parents. One Fresno State student moved in thinking she'd only be staying for a few months. Well, a few months turned into a year.
It's been difficult because my sister was pregnant and then we have a newborn in the family. So at first it was really frustrating, like the first couple of weeks, just trying to adapt to my nephews, like crying and I couldn't sleep.
So when he's asleep, she studies, and that's usually really late at night.
It's just a matter of trying to make time, trying to stay up, trying to do my assignments all together when it's the quietest.
I'm here in my bedroom where I do the majority of my studying, and luckily for me, the only distractions I have are my dog. But just like with Lopez Martinez, not everyone has this luxury. Another Fresno State student who is also a mother has a few tips that just might help you deal with those distracting noises.
Try buying earphones. I know some people like listening to music when they study, and I know music helps, or studying outside, because studying outside is really good. You get the fresh air, and if you can't study inside, well, why not outside, you know?
So the next time you're struggling with distractions, try putting in your best earphones or head outside, or maybe try both. Who knows? It might just help as we work through this not-conventional way of going to college. In Clovis, Tasha Turner, Fresno State Focus.
Not only it is nice to studying outdoors, but it could also help your health, according to a study done at Ashford University.
Even if you found a quiet space to study, midterms can still be stressful. Taking tests virtually adds to that stress, even though we've done it for a few semesters already. Brooke Chow shows us how the Learning Center is preparing students for midterms.
Midterms can be a stressful time for students. Learning new study habits while attending class virtually is an important way to stay on top of school.
Coordinate certain colors, I color coordinate my notes with certain chapters or certain sections of a book, and that's how I'm able to remember oh, in this section, okay, this is for what this question is. So that's how I do it.
The Learning Center on campus has student tutors who have study tricks to help students year-round. Everyone learns differently. Even though the help is done differently this semester, not in person but virtually, the mission is still the same. Simply help students.
Students don't have to worry about juggling a bunch of different links because we have close to 40 tutors. And we have this one central link. We have a main room. They come in, they're greeted by actual real people. And if they even want to come and ask general questions about the campus, there's always someone there.
Although in-person campus resources are limited, utilizing what is available virtually can be helpful for midterms this semester. Here at the very quiet Henry Mountain Library, where students are usually flooding in and out of these doors during midterm season, utilizing a quiet place to study and even the Starbucks upstairs. However, right now, all library services are being offered virtually due to COVID-19. With midterms right around the corner, the Learning Center is still here to help students virtually at Learning Center at csufresno.edu if you need extra help year-round and with those stressful tests coming up. Brooke Chow, Fresno State Focus.
Students are able to meet with tutors on Zoom Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 through the Learning Center's website. Just go to Learning Center at csufresno.edu.
The Fresno State Bulldogs had a busy yet successful weekend. Here's Carissa King with your focus on sports.
The women's water polo team took on Azusa Pacific on Saturday and won 16-6. Our men's baseball team had a triple header over the weekend against New Mexico. They won 2 out of their 3 games. The women's soccer team had their home opener this weekend. On Friday, they played University of Las Vegas and won 3-2. Then on Sunday, beat San Diego State 2-1 in a close game. Our women's tennis team beat Cal State Fullerton on the Titans' home court 4-3. And that's your focus on sports. I'm Carissa King.
The women's tennis team is in the middle of its season. This year has a completely different environment, but Bulldogs are grateful that they got a chance to train and compete. Earlier today, I got a chance to talk with women's tennis team member Ella Husrefovich about their season. Hi, this is Tonya Gureva with you, and I'm here with Ella Husrefovich, who is a member of Fresno State women's tennis team. Hi, Ella. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So I know you guys are halfway through your season. How is it going for you?
It's going pretty well. I mean, coming back from COVID and not being able to train and play, we've been pretty grateful to be able to go out there and represent Fresno State.
You mentioned COVID. Do you think COVID-19 restrictions have a huge effect on your guys' training process and traveling process?
I wouldn't say a huge effect. I mean, we're a pretty socially distant sport. The only thing we really miss is having fans out there. But other than that, I mean, everything's pretty normal.
And I know you guys just came back from your recent meet from LA. So how did it go for you?
It went pretty well. We were 3-0 down, so we managed to fight back and come back and win 4-3. So it was a pretty good win.
Well, congratulations to you. Despite all the complications, you still managed to defend honor of the university. How is the team atmosphere? Do you think the COVID-19 restrictions affected your guys' team atmosphere? I know you're not able to do team bondings probably. Do you think it has a strong effect on the team?
I think it actually brought our team closer together. I mean, we're encouraged not to really hang out with many people besides our team. And so we practice like bonding through social distance, like doing Zoom calls and, you know, playing games like spike ball or something. So we've kind of managed around it and it's brought us closer together, I feel.
Well, I think it's amazing that with all the complications, you guys still managed to bring the team together and continue through the season and win. Congratulations to you, and thank you for joining me today. This was Ella Husrefovich, a member of Fresno State women's tennis team.
Coming up, I speak with Professor James Boren about the Journalists of Color program.
And we show you how one Girl Scout is determined to reach her sail goal before sails end on March 21st.
Plus, we're live at Sequoia Brewery when we come back.
Here in the valley, our colors are blue and our waves are red. Bulldog born and bulldog bred. Generations linked forever by traditions that have stood the test of time. Inside our stadiums, we are one. This is our valley, and this year, we're doing it for you.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
The Kremen Alumni and Friends chapter are feeling really lucky today. Just 2 weeks ago, they began planning their St. Patrick's Day dinner drive-thru. They met their goal. With over 200 plates sold and over $1,000 donated, they were able to raise money for student scholarships.
So many people donating to this cause has really just gone beyond our expectations, and we're so grateful for our community for that.
The dinner pickup begins at 4:30 at the shopping center on Champlain and Perrin.
Looks like one of our team members heard there was food and went running. Robert Ortega Jr. is live at St. Patrick's Day Fest Grab and Go to give us a look at the fundraising event.
You know, I heard about beer and food, so I had to come check it out for myself. And that brought me out here to North Fresno on Champlain and Perrin in the Sequoia Brewing Company parking lot. And I'm here for the St. Patrick's Day Fest Grab and Go, hosted by the Kremen Alumni chapter. And so for that, they're doing the Grab and Go, which is going to have cars coming through to pick up their food. And their food is a traditional Irish meal. And I got to try it out earlier, and it was delicious. But what made it even better is where the money's going. And that is for student scholarships and also other student programs. And for that, I have here with me today Jessica Hannigan. And Jessica Hannigan is the president of the Kremen Alumni chapter. And so, Jessica, I just had a question. What made you guys want to do the St. Patrick's Day Fest Grab and Go to raise money?
First of all, thank you for being here and supporting our event. We wanted to do this event to continue our tradition of fundraising for student scholarships. Typically, we used to have a big Oktoberfest, and obviously that got changed, but we wanted to keep the momentum of service and giving back going. So we thought, why not adjust and do something fun for St. Patrick's Day that's still safe, but raises money for student scholarships.
And did you guys have like a goal for the student scholarship fund and what money you wanted to raise?
Absolutely. Our goal was 150 plates sold, and we did this in a short amount of time. I'm talking, we had an idea as a committee, and then we went for it, about 2 weeks' time. And we raised, we sold almost 240 plates. So we definitely made our goal. Thanks to all the support.
Definitely. Glad to hear it, and thank you for being here with me today. I'm Robert Ortega Jr., Fresno State Focus.
Thanks for having me.
Now for some news on the other side of town. Activism in a pandemic is no easy task. The Save the Tower Theater movement has managed to pull it off. From the screen to the streets. That's the story of the Save the Tower Theater movement. Organizers are trying to prevent this historic landmark from being bought by Adventure Church. It wasn't initially a demonstration or handing out flyers that kickstarted the effort. It was social media. One committee member says online rumors inspired activists to start planning at a rapid pace.
This all happened so fast, it's all kind of like a blur, but, you know, around January 3rd, 4th, we started hearing rumors on Twitter that the Tower Theater was going to be sold.
Organizers believe the church's stance against gay marriage is at odds with the community's values. They also believe the purchase could result in a rezoning of the area, placing more restrictions on local businesses. After seeing the rumors on Twitter, organizers created a Facebook page. It was with that page that pieces of the movement came together. The majority of this movement's efforts are right here in the palm of my hand. The Facebook page hasn't just been used for sharing opinions or casual conversation. It's also been used to organize funds for legal purposes and in-person protests that take place here every week. The page currently has over 2,300 followers. Among them is Francisco Chapa. He says the Facebook community has inspired him to attend his first protest ever.
I wasn't really one to be a part of causes or anything like that, but after seeing the Facebook page and seeing all the support and getting those notifications every single day, it really inspired me to want to make a change.
The movement came full circle when the conversation returned to Twitter after comedian Sarah Silverman took to the platform to voice her support. It gained further national attention with an article recently published in the LA Times. Though the purchase of the theater is still pending, the strategy of online organizing has proven to be quite powerful. In Fresno, Trevor Widger, Fresno State Focus. It's still unclear who will end up buying the Tower Theater or when that will happen. One thing we can be sure of is that social media users will be covering it every step of the way.
A young Girl Scout set a goal to sell 4,000 boxes of cookies before sales end on March 21st.
Girl Scout cookies!
9-year-old Viviana Cervantes is halfway there. This is her first year as a Girl Scout. With the help of Viv's family and social media, she has gotten over 1,000 online orders that Viv delivers herself. During the weekend, she posts in front of her grandparents' house to sell her cookies, eager to meet her goal.
For 4,000 cookies, you get a GoPro, and I want one because my friend has one, and she has a pool.
Viv hopes to meet her goal for a new underwater camera so she can make videos all summer long. If you would like to help Viv sell 4,000 boxes, you can find her on Ashland and Claremont Avenue in Clovis this Saturday.
The Fresno State Institute for Media and Public Trust is looking to increase the diversity of local newsrooms with its Journalists of Color San Joaquin Valley Storytelling Program. Executive Director Jim Boren tells us what the program has to offer.
It's a big challenge in our community and nationally to have newsrooms that look like the communities that they're covering. And so we believe strongly that American newsrooms, San Joaquin Valley newsroom, should look like that community. And unfortunately, that's not the case. So what we're working toward at our institute is a program to train and mentor young journalists of color through a 5-year paid program. We start in the high school and we take them through college. And these are going to be local kids from the San Joaquin Valley, and hopefully they will go into newsrooms here and help diversify those newsrooms. I've talked to several newsroom leaders about the program. They support it very much, and they would love to hire qualified students of color who then will be journalists of color that will tell the stories, be able to tell the stories about their own communities. So the key thing is that we wanted to pay them because many of these students have to get part-time jobs. So we figure that paying them $300 a month for the 9-month academic year over 5 years, that's $2,700 a year. It's like a small part-time job, pays them for their training. We give them academic counseling.
And this is the very first cohort of students you're working on. The program launched last year, but because of the pandemic, the timeline got a little fuzzier. So this will be the very first cohort of students chosen for this program that's upcoming, correct?
Right. So they could still apply for it. And the students will actually start the program in the fall, probably in August. And then we'll go for 9 months in the academic year. And they will be with us for 5 years. And again, it's not just journalism training, it's training and academic counseling to kind of help them to keep on track. And they can be a community college transfer from Fresno City College, and they can go to then through the MCGA department at Fresno State.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing the success of this program.
Great, Trevor. Thank you for having me.
Now, before we go, I don't want to disappoint all my fellow redheads out there without pointing out, Tonya, you have failed to wear green today.
Don't worry, Trevor. I got a whole leprechaun costume back home waiting for me.
Every outfit I have is technically a leprechaun costume.
This is the first week we get some sunlight in our evening. Go enjoy it.
Or if you're like me, stay inside and stay safe this St. Patrick's Day.
We will see you next week with some more Fresno State Focus.